Hi, my name's Alexis McMurray. I'm a senior in fashion design, and let's take a look at some of my past work. This was from fall 2024, so the fall show, and the theme was A Night at the Circus. Basically what it's composed of is a lot of recycled plastic and CDs, like with the holographic side of the CDs. And I basically hand connected each circle with little O-rings and made a cape out of it, and then under it is a silk chiffon dress with silk satin shorts. My inspiration with this was a combination of a couple things. Originally it was like I was very inspired by like my relationships with the people in my life that I love, playing into the theme of the circus, talking about like the light from the moon, because I was looking at a lot of vintage circus photos and things like that, and they had this, all the circuses had this huge like moon up in the corner of all the shows, like it was just like there. So I kind of thought that was interesting, and so I kind of mimicked that within the colors and the cool colors. It was supposed to reflect off of the lights on the runway, so it would be a really cool visual effect for the audience. So this is from spring 2024, I think. Yeah, the spring show of my sophomore year. And so we got to do two looks together. I called Lust and Love, and like one look was supposed to represent more of like the lustful aspect in a relationship, and then one is supposed to represent the more romantic aspect. So, and I feel like that's I tried to make it very apparent in how they look. So one was like very, kind of had like this very suggestive seam lines and kind of just like interesting cuts on the body to where places people would like conventionally find things attractive, I guess. And then the second look is more of like you have the romantic lace and the ruffles, and so, and it all was like, I guess one of the things that I tried to prioritize was making sure my models, like their proportions were accentuated, right? So I feel like that's something that I look for like a lot of my work. So I like to take the parts of their body that they're confident in, and then it really accentuate that for them so they feel confident on the runway. So yeah, this was my first CFC look in spring 2023. And you know, I like to look back at it and think about how far I've come, because this look was such a struggle for me. It was originally supposed to be a jumpsuit, and then 3 days before the show I chopped it in half. So, but what originally inspired this technique was, I think the theme for level 1, I can't remember it specifically, but it had something to do with like looking to the past and being inspired by vintage fashion. And one of the vintage fashion techniques that I found was smocking, and I was researching smocking, and I found an interesting technique where you could smock but with beads in the middle of the thread. So I did that, an entirely beaded top. It was supposed to be obviously a beaded top of a jumpsuit, but that didn't work out. But yeah, so it was entirely beaded, and then I made these really amazing balloon pants that I don't even know how they came together, because if you saw the inside of that, it would be really scary. But yeah, I mean, she looked amazing, so it was like crazy how that just like came out of nowhere. But yeah, it was a super time-intensive project, but I really love it still. This was my most recent look for fall 2024, and it was just for the fall show, and the theme was Reverie. Yes, the theme was Reverie. Kind of how I interpreted it was kind of the state when you're falling asleep, like that going through the sleep cycle, falling into your dream of like that last stage of sleep, of REM. So kind of like we have like the top silhouette, and it's very straight, like there's not much going on, it's very flat, close to the body. And then it kind of just like juts out into this huge like mess of fabric, and like it's just like really poofy, and there's a lot going on. I did a princess seam top, and the side panels are gathered, so it's like kind of represents like that rippling effect of when you're slowly falling into the dream. It's all just like very like comes out of nowhere basically. When I was designing this, I was at like a point in my life where I was just like everything was very stressful, and I was like, oh my god, I need an escape. Like I need like to escape from somewhere and just like go. And so like the dreams, and that's why I titled it Escapism. What I love about CFC is kind of how anybody can join, how it's like super inclusive. So we have a level 4 designer who's a math major, and I think it's really great that she has progressed through the club in a way that like not very many people, like really only people who study fashion can. So it's like, it's just like if you want to do it, you can, and it's totally like everyone is open to, and we're all very welcoming here. CFC has helped me grow as a designer because I mean, like what I was saying before about my first look, like it's just learning how to do things in a time crunch, and I feel like it totally prepares you for working in a professional environment, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Like even now when I'm designing my senior collection, like I'm doing all these things, and it's such like a well-rounded way to approach something. If I'm being honest, I'm looking forward to it being over. Like I just want to see it on the runway finally. Like I've been working literally since last summer on this, and I'm just excited to see it all together finally. My collection will probably look like nothing I have ever made before from what we have looked at previously. A lot of my stuff is darker. Like I think almost all my looks I've designed in black, and let's just say nothing is in black. It's gonna be fun. My advice for the younger designers is just trial and error is totally the way to go. I thrive off of just like trying to figure things out, and so I think that's just how you build your skills, is striving to learn new things and just like always being open to learning anything.